Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Downey and today we are going to discuss whether or not Anavar causes fat loss. So Anavar is quite commonly known as a cutting steroid, i.e. you add it into a cycle where you are planning on losing weight. And it's quite commonly thought that Anavar causes more fat loss than other traditional steroids. So I thought we'd put this question to the test, look at the research and see whether or not this is true or false. Because as we know, there is research that states Anavar does cause fat loss, but with every research that has been done on androgens, most of these papers will display the fact that the androgen they are researching causes fat loss. And this is because androgens in general, when compared to placebo, cause fat loss. So what we want to know is whether or not Anavar causes any additional fat-burning effects over traditional steroids such as testosterone. So when looking at whether or not Anavar causes fat loss, a quite commonly cited study is the one I'm going to show now. And in this study, they used 20 milligrams of Anavar daily for 12 weeks in older men, and they compared this to placebo. And obviously an androgen is going to have beneficial effects over a placebo when it comes to body composition. And not surprisingly, they gained lean muscle mass as well as lost fat mass. Of note though, Anavar caused quite a bit of water retention, and a lot of this lean muscle mass, or what they thought was lean muscle mass, was water weight. And on stopping Anavar, the lean mass that was gained during the study was lost. However, the fat loss effects were sustained. So now we know that Anavar by itself does cause fat loss. Let's compare it to other steroids and let's see if it has a beneficial fat burning effect over other traditional steroids. And this next study I'm going to show does indeed show that Anavar has beneficial fat burning effects over other compounds. In this particular study, it was a 9-month trial where they wanted to compare oxandrolone to testosterone enanthate. It's quite a high quality trial, however the sample size is quite small. In this trial, it's randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, and what they did was they had two groups, one receiving testosterone enanthate every 2 weeks, and the other one's group receiving 20 milligrams of oxandrolone. The study was meant to be 9 months long, but they had to stop the oxandrolone group prematurely. The reason for this is because of the massive issue that Anavar caused with the participants' lipid profile. So after these 3 months, the oxandrolone group was switched over to nandrolone decanoate, or DECA. But let's look and see what happened to these participants within the first 3 months. It's important to note that these participants were hypogonadal and obese, so therefore the effects will be pronounced in these individuals, as we know. I forgot to mention that there was also a placebo group. So the oxandrolone group received around 20 milligrams of oxandrolone daily, and the testosterone group received 200 milligrams of testosterone. But this was injected once every 2 weeks. And what's interesting to note is that in the oxandrolone group, they had a massive decrease in comparison to the testosterone group and obviously the placebo group, which is known already. They displayed that the oxandrolone group exhibited a greater loss in visceral fat and absolute levels of visceral fat. And these levels were significantly greater than the testosterone group at 3 months. But this leads one to postulate why the Anavar group or oxandrolone group had greater fat loss in comparison to testosterone. What's the mechanism behind it? Well, we don't really know, but we have a possible mechanism behind this, and that is the fact that oxandrolone or Anavar caused higher free T4 and T3 hormone levels. So essentially it decreased T4 and T3 binding to thyroid globulin, which meant that there were higher free thyroid hormone levels circulating. And for those who know, T4 and T3 do have an impact on your metabolic rate. The higher your free thyroid hormone levels are, the more fat you are going to burn. What is also interesting to note is in the study is that once the oxandrolone group was swapped over to DECA because of the adverse effects it had on the lipids, and these effects were quite substantial. Usually in a study they would allow a bit of skewing, however The levels to which they were skewed were very significant and quite detrimental, especially in old elderly men who are obese. Once swapped over to DECA, they noticed that the participants started gaining more fat again and that they lost thigh muscle size. So I just wanted to use this study, which was an interesting study, to demonstrate that, in fact, the thought behind Anavar being more thermogenic or fat-burning than other traditional anabolic compounds is actually backed by evidence in the research, and as we displayed, it's thought that it might be through increasing free thyroid hormone levels. What's important to note, however, is this video is not supporting the use of Anavar. As we displayed, it caused quite a bit of health issues. Not only did it skew the lipid profile quite drastically, it caused a significant reduction in testosterone levels. So, in conclusion, I just wanted to show that Anavar does in fact cause more fat loss than other anabolic compounds. Obviously, this is just comparing Anavar to testosterone and DECA. It would be interesting to compare it to other compounds, but we simply don't have that research yet. So thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you thought about this, and I will see you in the next video.